Okay, it is time for NBA. Your guest swept the board last week with plus money spots. Now 56 and 47, hitting at 54.4%, plus 8.16 units. ROI plus 7.92%. And his average line is minus 101. Our guest did it this year. Is doing it this year, and he also did it last year for us. He was so good last year, and he's just putting it on again, and that's important. As somebody can have a strong year, but how many years can you do it in a row? And that's why we think Doc is Big Ragoo is so special here. Last year, Derl went 104 and 78 plus 21.69 units with an ROI of 11.92% and an average line of minus 103. Hard to find consistent winners in NBA, and we have one right now, right here. Please welcome from Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Darryl Rice to the show. What up, Darryl? How are you, man?
Yo, how are you, Jimmy? Man, good to be back, bro. Good to be back talking ball, man. Any day on this side of the grass is definitely a good
day. It's a good day. It is a good day. And you're coming off board sweepage last week. Stay hot, Derl. We need you to stay hot. Let's get to work.
Let's get to work,
at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. West first round, game 2. Derl's LA Lakers lead the series 1-0. What a difference a few months makes.
For real.
We now have a squad that people really believe in.
Yeah.
So, over to NBA and start with the line history here. Oh, sorry, here we go. NBA. Line history. Here we go. Lakers, Memphis. Of course, the question is, what is going on with Ja? If you're looking at the market, Ja must not be playing tonight. Lakers opened up at plus 2.5. They are now at minus 1, but they were at minus 1.5, so it's come back a half point. From a total side of things, this opened up at 228. It's dropped to 226.5. Let's go over to the cash flow for this game 1 on the NBA playoff calendar. Go to all markets. Here we go. So I guess the money line probably should be looked at. It's gone from plus to minus, so we can look at both, but they're both almost exactly the same. On the money line, there's 30% of tickets on the Grizzlies, but 70% of cash. On the spread, 30% of tickets on the Grizzlies, 62% of cash. On the total, there is 49% of tickets on the under, but 91% of cash. So we've seen the market not respect the big bets on the Grizzlies, or maybe that's just player personnel related. We do see them respecting the under in this spot. The series game 1 was played at a pace of 100.50 possessions a game, very similar to the pace that the Lakers and Grizzlies played all year. All year, the Lakers played at a pace of 101.92 possessions a game, 4th fastest in the league. 8th fastest was the Grizzlies, just behind them at 101.50 possessions a game. Ja hurt his hand. He's a game-time decision. He's listed as questionable. The X-rays said there were no fractures or ligament tears. So now it's up to him whether he can grip the ball and handle everything. When he left the game, Lakers went on a 15-0 run, and that changed everything. Tyus Jones would move into the starting lineup if Ja's not available. Memphis went 6-3 when Ja was suspended, and was suspended for 8 games, and then was out 1 game for their own conditioning reasons. Tyus looked great. 16.3 points, 8.2 assists, just 1.3 turnovers, had 10 or more assists, and his first triple-double of his career. Jaren Jackson looked great in game 1 after being named the defensive player of the year at just 23 years old. He put in 31 points. Bane added 22. The Lakers had 20 points by 4 players, 20 or more by 4. Hachimura went 11-14 for 29. Austin Reeves, 14 points and 5-5 shooting in the 4th quarter, scored 9 straight points. Anthony Davis added 22 points, 12 boards, 7 blocked shots. LeBron 21 and 11. Can Rui and AR-15 keep playing at this level to give you guys 4 scores? That's the question. Take it away for us, Derl. Lakers, Grizzlies.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is Now that we're in playoff mode, when I start capping the games in playoff mode, I steer away from a lot of the regular season stats. So we're not going to do this, their ATS. You can look more at their head-to-head matchups, but even that takes even a more efficient way of looking at things to try to be neutral when you're capping playoff games. So you go down a rabbit hole. And so when I cap the postseason, it's really head-to-head matchups. I'm not concerned about what the Lakers did at the end of the season. I'm not concerned about what Ja did at the end of the season. I'm looking at their head-to-head matchups and then their last game. Okay, so with this matchup, I guarantee you this is going to be how some people have capped this game, some cappers, and I don't want you to fall into this trap. A lot of people are going to automatically look at Grizzlies, right? And they're going to think Grizzlies because you're not going to get that type of game again from Rui Hachimura, right? That's probably once in a lifetime where the dude's going to hit 5 or 6 from the three, go balls to the wall, right? And play 30 minutes. He's probably not going to do that again, right? Don't also look more into the Austin Reeves, stat line as well, thinking that he won't do that again. What you have to look at really about this game are the matchups. And what I'm seeing is ultimately, this has been a bad matchup for Memphis, a really bad matchup for Memphis. The problem is Memphis really doesn't have an answer for AD. They don't. And they don't, once you don't have that depth and those wing defenders and Brandon Clark and Triple J, I just feel like this is a game that does not play well into Memphis's hands. This is another thing I don't want a lot of stock in, really, is that Memphis actually plays better without Ja. Right? I know people are going to think that and might look at the numbers and they might even somewhat dictate that. But this isn't the same team as the team of last year where they went that long stretch without John was doing better. Right? So to your point, they went 6-3 and, they were able to win games without Ja. That's just not the case in these playoffs. So it's a very long-winded way of saying right now that Memphis is in trouble if they don't have Ja on the court. And Ja was really sluggish, and I think that narrative actually stuck out to a certain degree to where when he got in to play against the Lakers in the playoff game, it was really more about trying to feel and not really take control. That's what I saw. And fitting that narrative as trying to get everybody involved. The Lakers have beat them all but once this season, right? And that was a game without LeBron. That was LeBron's first game away from having his foot, messed up from that Dallas game, I believe. And, to be quite honest, the Lakers kept that close. It was 110-106 with 4 minutes, 48 seconds left. And that game just got away from the Lakers. So this is the game I really want to watch. I'm not looking at a side, but when you look at head-to-head matchups, these are people who score. Austin Reeves scores. Of course, you got your superstars that score, and surprisingly, Dennis Schroeder scores. So this is the way I look at it. I've got too much of my fan side invested to play a side, so I don't want to play a side here. I really do believe the Lakers are going to win this game. I do believe that. But what's more consistent is Austin Reeves scoring over 15.5 points. Austin Reeves scoring over 15.5 points is very consistent. He scored 23 last game. The game prior to that, he scored 17. The game prior to that, he scored 17. And then there was one game he didn't play this season, I believe. So Austin is consistently scoring over that 15.5 mark, as well as Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder's points are surprisingly low. They're at 8.5 right now. And the playoff game, he scored 7. Now, the reason why I won't play Dennis is because it looks like they're limiting those minutes. If Dennis had a stronger role, then I would play Dennis Schroeder points. But he gave you 7 last game, and that was playing 20 minutes. So the more consistent person would be Austin Reeves. Austin may give you just another 17. So I do like Austin Reeves points over 15.5. That's the safest play for me, because me being a Laker fan and me believing that the Lakers can win this game outright. If you're going to pick a side and you like the Lakers, wait for the injury news. If you like Memphis, pick Memphis right now. If you like them right now, because if Ja does play, then of course it's going to be a better number. If Ja is out, it's going to be a larger number. So if you like the Lakers, I would say play the Lakers now. If you like Memphis, or if you like the Lakers, wait on the Ja news. If you like Memphis, play them now. Me personally, I can't take a side. The total on this game is reading 235. This is the analytics site, home by 5.83. 235, home by 5.83. This is what the analytics sites say. I don't agree with it. I do like Austin Reeves points over 15.5 though.
What is the juice associated with that prop?
I got it at -124. So it is juiced.
Did you like him screaming "I'm him" after that last shot?
I thought it was funny. Man. But this dude is easily playing himself into a bag right now. This brother will get paid, man.
Yeah,
he will get paid. He's got the trust of LeBron. He is not scared to go up into the paint, and he's like somebody called him the 2016 James Harden. Like, this guy is just drawing fouls, man. Like, it's nothing right now.
That's just
he's shifty, and he's just able to do it, man. He's working on a bag. So now that this is going to be the 5th time they've played, Austin, man, he's got their number to agree to where he knows how to score. So for me, I like Austin Reeves over 15.5 points. That's the bet. And that's a good point there by BJ. This line is overreaction. Yeah, I got you there, man. And with me, I would have to see a game, because I actually was talking this game out with my buddy who hates the Lakers. He hates the Lakers. And that's why I like talking to him about Laker games, because he helps me stay kind of more centered and not try to look at all the positives all the time and disregard the negatives. He likes the Lakers tonight. He took the Lakers. And for a minute I was like, okay, this is probably a Grizzlies spot. They can't go down 2-0. This still is the number 2 team in the league. But he pointed out so many factors where, the Lakers have got their number. And if they can win this second game, this might be a sweepage easily.
Wow. BJ dropping 4 units on the Grizzlies. Yeah. That is wild. Austin Reeves over 15.5 points at -124.
Mm-hmm.
I think Austin Reeves is closer to a 2023 Jimmy the Bag than he is a 2016 James Harden. But we can discuss all that at another time. BJ, big bet on the Grizzlies.
Yeah, best of luck to you, man. I mean, that's I don't agree with it, but hey, I'm not playing that side. So best of luck to you, brother.
We move on to the next game on the board, 9 p.m. Eastern. The East first round, game 2. Miami leads the series 1-0. Heat 44-38, 17-24 on the road at Milwaukee. Bucks 58-24, 32-9 at home at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have, here we go, the Bucks, and this is another spot where we're waiting on injury news. But judging by the 1.5 point move 5 minutes ago at Pinnacle, Giannis is going to be in.
Giannis is going to be in. I knew it. I
don't have any confirmation there, but we have a 1.5 point move 5 minutes ago at Pinnacle. So that tells me that Giannis is in. They opened up -7. They're now -8. Total wise here, we have it opening up at 220. And 3 minutes ago, there was a 2-point move to the over. That has to be Giannis is in. It just has to be.
Has to be. I saw, man, listen. If you're not all over Milwaukee early in this game, I don't know what you're smoking.
Well, let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. 67% of the tickets and 94% of the cash is on the Milwaukee Bucks. 67% of the tickets and 87% of cash is on the under. BJ got in on the Bucks at -6. Nice job. It is now -8. Andrew G says Bucks will win the next 4 straight. The series played at almost the exact same pace the Bucks played at all throughout the year. They averaged 101.45 possessions a game. That was 10th in the NBA. They played the game one at 101.50. Heat were 29th in the NBA in pace, 96.76 possessions a game. So they were playing a little faster. And Tyler Hero Gonzo, broken right hand, season-ending surgery later this week. So
later, Gator.
Is it Caleb Martin or Duncan Robinson?
Doesn't matter. You know? Well, it should be Caleb. I mean, it should be Caleb.
I agree.
Why are we playing Duncan?
I don't know how you'd want Duncan Robinson out there in a meaningful physical basketball game. So it's a lower back tailbone injury for Antetokounmpo. I guess he was listed as doubtful. There's the Foulish Hound in the house. We've missed you, Foulish Hound, gracing us, blessing our picks. Nice to see you, Foulish Hound.
Blessing our picks.
Oh yeah, that's what she does. She blesses our picks. The X-rays were negative, and he's got to be in there. He's got to be. Yeah. Middleton had 33. Drew 16 and 16. What happened is a lot of, BJ's heavy on the Grizzlies, and he says, look, Hachimura's not going to go 11 for 14. These guys are going to shoot that way. Well, I guess that'd be the same angle here. We had the Heat go 15 of 25 from 3. The Bucks went 11 of 45. Gabe Vincent was 4 of 5. Kevin Love was 4 of 7. That was a season best accuracy percentage for the Heat. Butler 35, Bam 22, 9 and 7. Take it away for us here, Derl. You've already given us a hint, but take it away.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, this one here, I played this last night. I took the Bucks at -2, and I was just looking at this game. I was looking at these games last night, and just looking at some highlights and things like that. And there's one thing for certain. These teams, especially in the first quarter, are completely opposite. Bucks just dominate the first quarter, especially off of a loss, especially at home. And the Heat are not that's not the same. They're the exact opposite. When the Heat are in the first quarter coming off away, off of a win, look at the numbers. They're like night and day. They're just polar opposite. And I would bring them up for you, but I'm like, this one to me was just a little more too obvious to not take right away. And this is probably the earliest play I've taken all year, just about. I look at games the night before, but I don't start making plays till probably about 7, 8 o'clock Pacific time the next day. I stepped on this yesterday when it was at -2. Bucks first quarter -2. And the reason why I'm going this route is because I believe in the zigzag theory here. I really do. It proved itself with the Knicks and the Cavaliers game, and I think it's going to prove itself here with this Miami and Bucks game. Miami, they weren't supposed to win the first game, and now they're down without Tyler Hero, who makes up with a lot of space and a lot of shooting. I believe the Bucks come out here on absolute fire. Absolute fire. I really do. I couldn't talk anybody off Bucks trifecta here, to be honest with you. But the reason why I'm taking them early is because I like to take teams when they're most freshest and most alert and aware. That's just first quarter for me. So for me, this one here just screams Milwaukee Bucks early. Now, how the game plays out, what is something going to happen if Giannis re-aggravates his back? Is something going to happen down the stretch to where there's these different swings going on and there's momentum shifts and things like that? I don't want to worry about that. I don't. But the Heat should not be in this position where they're up 1-0. They should not. They really shouldn't. And as quiet as kept, the Heat is not that same playoff team as they were last year when they were a 3-point shot away from going to the finals. This is just not the same team. Maybe you can count on Jimmy Buckets to do his job. That's fine. But Bam Adebayo is not the same to me. We don't know what the heck happened to Kyle Lowry, and now you're down another shooter. Give me Milwaukee Bucks. I took them last night at -2. I think when I looked this morning, that line was -2.5. Couldn't talk you off that either. I wouldn't let it get over 3.5 though. But I got him at -2 first quarter. That is my play.
Bookmaker and Bet Chris just moved Milwaukee back to 7.5. So maybe I was a little too quick to anoint Giannis being in.
I think he's going to play. I thought that last night. I think he's going to play, bro. I think he is.
So with this line now, for our record-keeping purposes, at 2.5, did you tweet out the first quarter?
No.
So are you okay taking the 2.5 now?
So that gives me a 3-point lead. I'll take the 2.5 because all it is gonna.
You don't have to. I mean, like, if you would prefer, because these first quarter. I mean, it's. I don't feel forced to take it. That's a big move to the 2.5.
Well, it just stops from being a push, right? So, I mean, we're talking about either a push or winning the spot. So, if you have a 2, what is that juiced at right now?
I will
like 130.
Yeah, let's find out right now. So we'll go over the Pinnacle. We have Heat Bucks, and it's just like old times here. They just pulled the game.
Yeah,
they just pulled the game.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it doesn't matter in this case. This should just be a beatdown, if you ask me. So I got it at 2. All of this is I'm gonna push, or if I take the 2.5, I'm gonna either win or lose in this case here. So I'll take the 2.5 just for the show's sake. I got it at 2. I'll take it to 2.5.
Yeah, and these other books won't let me move it up. I think 365 will let me move it. Let me just see what it would be. Yeah, they're gonna, they screw you. This book just screws you every chance they get. But alternate point spread here. No, they won't. They won't give you an opportunity for it.
Yeah. Just let's shoot the 2, man. 2.5. I'm sorry. Let's shoot the 2.5. I got to be confident about that.
Heritage can give you that at -105.
For the 2?
Yeah. No, 2.5.
2.5. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Let's go for 2.5. -105.
Bucks first quarter -2.5 and -105. You are locked in for that. Sorry, I just checked my daughter's. Just one more game, sweetheart. I'll be right there. Okay, my love. Need you to just be cool. All right. Okay. Heat Bucks. Darryl's on the Bucks first quarter -2.5 at -105. Tell me you didn't say that. Got that at 1.5, but at -125. Okay.
Yeah.
Derl is locked in with the Bucks. Can we touch? I think the difficulty here with any total bet or anything like that is that Troy saying why no Bucks for you. I want to see where this ends. I don't want to sit.
So you think you would be more convinced after they play a second game?
No, I just want to see what happens this afternoon. I want to look at Giannis in warm-ups. Like I just want to feel like I don't. One thing that the NBA taught us this year is don't make presumptions. Because if you start making presumptions without facts behind it, next thing you know, you're looking at the lineup going, "What? Wait, what?" And so I just look. It's our hard-earned money, and there's so much at stake for our succeeding. And I just don't want to.
I'll tell you what, man. And this is what I said yesterday too. I think a lot of people are waiting for Giannis to be out, and they're still going to smash the Bucks.
I would prefer that. I would prefer to have the Bucks first quarter or Bucks early without Giannis. Much prefer that.
So I get it. But this is the presumption, and you're right. I'm completely making the mistake of what you don't want to do. And my presumption is he is going to play. So I'm jumping on it early.
Exactly, but I don't mind that. You're making a bet. You're making a bet on an injury that he's going to be in. I'm not comfortable making that bet, and I like the Bucks better if he's out.
Right, absolutely. So because the public is going to hammer the Heat. Your common bettor is going to. If Giannis is ruled out, they are going to smack the Heat.
and they're going to lose. So yeah,
and they're going to lose, and they're going to lose.
Troy Torrance says, I agree, Jimmy. Unfortunately, he is in. That's what it feels like at this point. So, okay, so let's roll on. Saturated says, even with Giannis in, he thinks the Heat can keep it close. Says Jimmy got that dog in him. Jimmy Butler, 35.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's Jimmy. It's all or nothing for Jimmy, but I just don't think this is the same team as last year.
Let's move on to the final game on the board here, 10 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Timberwolves at Denver Nuggets. We've already heard from Dan Kelly that he has moved on the Timberwolves to win the series at just under 10.
Wow.
Just under 10 to 1. So the idea is that Jokic's wrist injury is real. And it's a real issue that's really bothering him. That is the angle here for Dan Kelly.
Yeah, but they smacked many. I mean, what? So I don't get it.
You know, look, at 10 to 1, he feels like it's worth it. I don't think that we should really judge the Timberwolves on game 1. You had Denver off for 6 days, while Minnesota had 2. Well, one was a tough playing game, the other wasn't really that tough, but they were hard at work. So I think that it's that they shouldn't be judged on the horrific display they had in game 1. Mike M says Minnie's outmatched here.
Yeah, I'm with it.
But what is Jokic does look hurt.
Did he re-aggravate it in that game?
He says that. Well, he's kind of not saying anything, but they've said that he did. He re-aggravated a wrist injury, and it's bothering him. So the pace was very slow in game 1, 94 possessions a game. The Nuggets were the 24th fastest team in the league this year at 98.74 possessions a game, and Timberwolves 7th fastest, 101.55 possessions a game. Eric Rosas says that 10 to 1's worth it. He only sees 7 to 1 right now. So let's go into the line and the cash flow. And by the way, we had Dennis looking at the under in that Heat Bucks game. That under is, went from 218 to 220 with the Giannis announcement. Now it's dropped back a half point. But not announcement. Or thought that it was a Giannis announcement. I can understand the under, but I want Giannis to be in there if I want the under. If Giannis is in there, I want the under. If Giannis isn't in there, I want the Bucks and maybe the over. I would need to think about it a little bit more. But in years past, when Giannis was not on the floor, they sped up and their rhythm was pretty nice. But
shoot, here it is. I'm sorry about that. Analytics site total for that game, Miami and Milwaukee, total 219, home by 4.26.
Wow. All right, let's talk Wolves. Nuggets. This opened up with the Wolves plus 8.5 minus 105. They're now plus 8.5 minus 102. So we have a 3-cent move to the Nuggets. It did get off of 8.5. It moved to 8 after it being available for about 10 hours, 9 hours or so. It moved to 8, and it stayed at 8 for quite a long time. It didn't go back to 8.5 until 1 this morning. Take a look at the totals here. This total opened up at 223.5. It's dropped a 1.5 to 222. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 32% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Then we have 62% of tickets and 44% of cash on the under. So bigger bets have come in on the over. 38 and 56 have come in on the over. Big Luch, he says Timberwolves are bums. Says put your money on Denver, don't overthink it.
Absolutely. That's what I think about it. That's just me. I couldn't agree with that more.
Nuggets won game 1 very easily. Timberwolves shot 37% from the field, 30.6% from 3, 9 of 16 from the foul line. Wuhan Gobert is listed as questionable. 6 players scored in double figures for Denver. Jokic just 13 points and 14 boards, but he was in control of the pace certainly. Jamal went for 24, 8 and 8, first playoff game since the bubble in Orlando in 2020. Take it away for us here, Derl. Wolves, Nuggets.
So here's a question I want to throw at you, and it's just kind of a general question, even to the low baggers in the chat. Do you think we have a little recency bias with how bad Denver's played over these past couple of weeks? That is kind of affecting how we think about them now against a bum squad in Minnesota. I mean, Denver was playing so good all year that they could afford to literally punt just about the last 2 weeks of the season. And do you think people are just thinking that they were so terrible? The last 2 weeks of the regular season has kind of crept into how they cap in this game against this terrible of a team?
Yes, but I think that went away a bit, when they destroyed the Wolves in game one. So I think that
Right.
that was played a much bigger role before game one of the series than it plays in game two of the series.
Yeah. So there's got to be adjustments made, but the worst thing that could have ever happened to many, if you ask me, is you lose your best perimeter defender in McDaniels when he decides to punch a wall and break his hand. Another thing that people don't really look at is how good of a defensive presence Nas Reed is actually. That's adding more depth to the bigs, right? There's not really much you can do with Gobert outside the paint. So all he's going to be is a rim protector, rim defender, and grab you boards, right? But at least Nas is able to space the floor along with Cat when he comes in and plays, so you can kind of play this 5 out. I just feel that you are seriously crippled without those two players in the game. That's just my opinion. So regardless of how crippled Joker is, just his presence alone is going to be enough to disrupt the Wolves. I feel that way. And Harrell says it right, but he's Towns is soft. Not only is he soft, but he makes these dumb fouls, man. He makes these stupid fouls, and to me, I just feel like there's not really a legitimate leader on that squad. It's not in Cat. It's not even Anthony Edwards. I just think he's a year away from being a year away type deal. That's a football term, right? Where he's not there yet. But that's the guy that if you needed one game for him to take over, it should be him. He didn't do it against the Lakers, and he really didn't do it against OKC. So I just feel like there's still a lack of cohesion with this group. And now, in my opinion, you've lost your best perimeter two-way defender, and you lost a added depth in your bigs when you bring in Nas Reed, who can give you help in the paint and on the outside. So I don't see how many could win any games, to be honest with you. I don't see it. Now, maybe you might go home and play a little better. Maybe this is a gentleman's sweep, but Denver should mop them. Now, with that said, analytics site calling this game total 228, home by 4.87. So if you like, now this analytics site, for what it's worth, I haven't really kept up on its record, but it has every game even before the lines come out. So I pay attention to that because I just want to see if these lines are in accordance to what the lines are. And so I just feel here that this is a spot that maybe Minnesota can make adjustments, but I just don't think they're good enough to beat Denver at all. That's just my opinion. Too much going on here. Too much going on here. So for right now, it's a no play for me. But if Denver wins this game and it's by a smaller margin, right? Or even if the Wolves cover but lose, look for that line to be super low and smack Denver on game 3. Because I think this can be a sweep. But for right now, no play.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, at this point, there's some, pretty clear big bets made on the Timberwolves at this number. We saw it drop to 8 for a little bit. Now back at 8.5. I don't want to trust the Timberwolves here. If I did, I wouldn't trust them for a full game. I would take them first half.
Yeah, they're neck and neck. If you're looking at scoring, right? Like your top 3 first half, first quarter teams are Denver, Minnie, and Milwaukee. Those are the top 3, So
I think Wuhan won't start and is probably on his way back to Minnesota today to get treatment to play in game 3. That's just complete guess on my part. But if he does do that, then the line will hit double digits. And I might have some interest in Minnesota early if Wuhan is on a flight back to Minnesota. So I need to know. There's enormous injury news that in all of these games that I would like to know, and I would like to know because they affect the line so dramatically. And also, I'm not saying that it's going to, that I can understand when people say the playoffs are different than the regular season. Regular season, the teams without their two best players, their ROI is insanely good. It's not, and I understand playoffs is a little different because there's a lot on the line here.
Who's Wuhan? Is that Gobert?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cold, man. That's messed up, man. You call Agent Zero Wuhan? Is that? Come on, man.
Yes, and it's Gobert's fault. It's not my fault for coming up with a name. It's Gobert's fault for kissing mics. God. You kiss mics and laugh, and then our league gets shut down.
Oh man,
this is brutal. Fucking mic kisser. How far does that mic go down your throat, Wuhan? Does it tickle you down here? All right.
Oh god.
I can understand no action. I want to know what's going on, and Mike's right. You got to earn the nickname. You got to earn it.
Yeah, you earned that one. But I mean, yeah, if Wuhan if he's coming back because there's something still wrong with his back, that's going to be another issue for many, man. I just don't. I mean, I like Dan, man. I would want to see the reasoning, but besides Joker having a bad hand, that Denver can't go ahead and smack these boys with one arm behind their back, especially if Wuhan's back is still hurting himself.
Well, you are coming off your finest night of the season last Wednesday. Your ROI now is just under 8%, 7.92. So you're getting back to the double-digit ROI you had last year, and that's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So impressed watching you rock here late in the season. And at this point, we have AR 15 over 15.5 points at minus 124 from Derl. We have the Bucks first quarter minus 2.5 at minus 105. And I'm going to tweet my action out. I want to be involved in NBA tonight. You
didn't give me real quick. What was your thoughts on the Lakers and Memphis? You didn't tell me a side that you liked, or if you.
I don't want to back.
You're waiting on Ja.
Yeah, but I don't want to back the Lakers here. I'm with DG, and it's impossible, I believe. And I but I believe in NBA, NHL, MLB. It's impossible for a team that wins the first game on the road to not think, the job's done. We did it. Right? Because all you want to do is split. That. You just want to split. And it creeps in. It just like you don't. I just don't feel like the Lakers are going to have that edge that you need. Like the Grizzlies are going to play with their whole season on the line. I don't know if that's going to be enough. And I don't want Ja out there, being melodramatic about his hand and shit like that. But I do think that the Grizzlies will play with a certain edge. So at this point, I want to know what's going on with Ja. And if he's out, I'll have interest in the Grizzlies. And that's about it. Then I want the under, I think, in Miami, Milwaukee, but I want to study it a little more, and I want to know what's going on with Giannis. Yeah. And then with the Wolves, Nuggets game, I want to know what's up with Wuhan, and I want him on a plane out of here. And if he is, then I'll have some interest in Minnesota early, but there's just too much going on here and too much information that we're going to get.
So last question then. This is just a thought. I know we'll cap out from here, but you don't also think the thinking on the Lakers end is they probably want to try to get this series over with, because once you get to games 4 or games 5, 6, and 7, the rest time is now cut in half to where they're like a day away. And if you're an older team with older legs, not getting that much rest, you don't want that series to draw out.
Look, I absolutely agree with that. The Lakers the Lakers need rest more than any team in the league.
Right.
So,
right.
but I just feel like they got the split and the job is done, and it's impossible for people not to feel that way. You feel that way in NHL. You feel that, like, like the Kings. If the Kings lose to the Oilers tonight, they did their job.
They did their job.
They come home 1-1, and they're in great shape. And for the Grizzlies, their whole season is on the line right here. Now, it's totally fair, to say that you take out Steven Adams and you can't win in the playoffs. The Grizzlies need Adams for their toughness. That'd be a fair statement, and you'd really like him in this series, just to put his shoulder into the chest of AD. But when everything's on the line for a group, for a team, male, female, whatever, for a team, when everything's on the line, and for the other team it's not, there's just an edge that I want to have my money on the team where they know their whole season's on the line. So
fair enough.
But
that applies for Milwaukee today, then.
Yes, it does. But again, I want Milwaukee without Giannis, and I want the Grizzlies without Ja, and I want the lines that will be given to me then. So this is a tricky one. But I like your action. AR 15 over 59 points minus 124. And Rob Free's going to move on the Bucks double digits. Darryl's on the Bucks first quarter minus 2.5 minus 105, and that's where we stand. I will have interest in Minnesota race to 20.
Oh, that's not bad.
But that
might be a Minnesota spot.
But I want, as I said, I want Wuhan on a plane fucking off. That is our show for today. That is our NBA coverage. Thank you so much, Derl, for rolling with us. Congratulations on that huge board sweepage last Wednesday.
Yeah,
thank you for delivering that to our friends and family in the chat.
Absolutely.
Derl, any last words? Oh, please follow Derl on Twitter @it's Derl. Derl, any last words for the Cappers here supporting the show?
I forget. Yeah. No, man. Yeah. All is another good day. Another good day, Jimmy. It's always good talking ball with you, man. I am looking forward to these games tonight. Going to be some really interesting looks for the game 3s of these. So as always, man, peace and love to all of you all in the chat. I will see you on next week.
There he is. It's Derl.